Welcome to this bioenergetic movement routine to enhance the vitality of the lower back, hips, and waist. We're going to be doing some strengthening of the core and glutes in order to restabilize the core area, as well as opening up the hip flexors, lower back with some twists and stretches. And then finally, we're going to flow using mindful breathing and movement to enhance the flow of vital energy through the lower abdomen, lower back, waist, hips, and spine. This routine is filmed in the beautiful mountains along the Payette River, about an hour north of Boise, Idaho. Here you can see the river full of the snowy ice melt at the beginning of spring. So I hope you enjoy the scenery, sounds, this beautiful routine. Please remember to leave aside any exercises that cause any undue pain or discomfort. Consult a physician or physical therapist to make sure this routine is right for you before trying. Place your hands on your hips. Circle your hips. Start a routine with our feet shoulder to hip width, our basic Qigong stance. Start to explore the range of motion in your hips and waist. We'll go the other direction. Just beginning with loosening the joints in this area. In the philosophy of Qigong, they say that moving water never stagnates. You want the flow of energy to be like a powerful, clear river, and not like a stagnant, sick swamp. Let's move the shoulders now, doing big circles, up, back, down, forward. Relieving any stagnation in the flow of blood, fluid, and energy through the body. Grinding away any adhesions in the fascia and connective tissue we call the huang in Qigong. Now with our feet together and knees together, start to circle your knees. You don't have to make as big of circles as me. If it causes any pain or discomfort, make smaller circles. And then going the other direction. Enhancing the blood flow into the knee joints. And this one also working the hips and ankles as well. Stepping back out. Feet shoulder width. We're going to start to turn from the hips and waist. And with relaxed arms and shoulders, just allow the arms to swing around you. Use the power of the turn of the hips. Notice how I'm pushing off the ground, swiveling my hips. But the arms and shoulders are relaxed. Let's see if you can generate enough power from your hips to bring the hand up to the lower back, knocking on the low back muscles gently with a light fist. The muscles just next to the spine, above the hips ideally, if you can reach. And the front hand, just an open palm slapping across the waist. In Qigong, we call the area of the waist and lower back the Yao. You see, this is an area that we want to loosen in general in Qigong practice, not just in cases of low back pain. Start to look over your shoulder to get a little more twist in the spine. If you have vertigo or any reason to feel dizzy, you might want to keep your gaze forward. And returning to the center, relaxing. Next one is called spinal cord breathing. Nice one to open up the back, neck, sacrum. So here we take an inhale as we pull the elbows back. Exhale as the elbows and fists come together. Inhale, pull your chest through your arms, looking up. Exhale, sink your chest back, tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, chest sinks back, and the tailbone tucks as well. So here the pelvis tilts forward, and here it tilts back as the tailbone tucks strongly under the body to stretch the back of the spine. Then reaching both hands up, and start to stretch one hand up at a time. This one's called picking cherries. Keep your tailbone a little tucked under here, your knees a little bent. And as you reach with one hand, keep the hip on that side anchored down. Look for a gentle stretch on the side waist, a little loosening and opening at the sides of the lower spine. And just breathe naturally here through the nose. You'll notice most of our stretching in Qigong involves movement. Again, this is to destagnate the body, the energy. The next one, we bring our palms together behind the back, fingers pointed down. Bring those up higher if you want more stretch, and lower if you're too tight. And we're going to slowly circle the head. Just look for that feeling of stretch moving around the neck, down the shoulders and arms. Sometimes low back pain can be caused by improper posture of the neck and head, such as forward head posture, causing the lower back muscles to need to stay tight to hold the upper body in position in such an inefficient position. Start to circle the other way. So one of our methods in Qigong is we don't always address things head on, no pun intended. We'll often work on areas surrounding the area of issue more than the area itself at times. And this can just help to create a more efficient structure, a more efficient flow of blood and energy to the affected location. Let's release, shake it out. Next, we take a nice wide stance. Take your palms face up in a big hoop above you, and we'll start to move the upper body in a circle, articulating from the waist. Notice how my legs don't move at all. I'm going to move a tiny bit, but we're trying to keep the legs steady. And now, if you have a serious low back problems, you might want to make a smaller circle like this. So be real careful with this one. Sorry for demonstrating the easy version second. And go the other direction. Again, you can keep it nice and gentle, small circle, or big, but either way, try to keep your legs solid as a rock and feel the movement occurring from the core. Palms are pressing up in this hoop to further pull and stretch on the muscles and tissues going down side waist. Let's come back to the center. Bring your hands shoulder height. We're going to find a twist. Turn to your left and pulse the arms, turning away from me to your left. Turn to your right into a lunge. And twist over the right leg. I'm mirroring you here. Sorry if it's a little confusing. Go the other way again. Twisting over the front leg in a lunge. Pulsing 3 times on each side. Follow me or continue at your own pace, but we do a little pulse reaching out through the fingertips as we twist. 3 pulses on each side. Twisting the back. Good, and now twist to your left, or turn to your left, lunge to the left. Lean forward, pressing your right hand forward and your left hand back. Reach like a long line from your crown of your head to your back heel. And we're going to switch. Turn to your right. Your left hand reaches forward, your right hand back. You twist the hands like you're screwing light bulbs into the walls. You look over your shoulder. Looking over the right shoulder. This is called the twisting dragon. Nice one to open the spine and the shoulder blades. Come back to the center. This next one is called the elephant. We hold one wrist, reach up tall, fold forward over straight legs. Then bend the knees, round the spine, and roll up. This will be a nice gentle stretch for the hamstrings and lower back. Rolling up, nice and soft in the spine and legs. Reaching up, you can even arch back if that feels good. But as you come down, keep the legs straight. Bend the knees to come up. Straight legs allows us to get a stretch in the hamstrings. So this also means keeping the toes pointed forward, the feet parallel. So I hope you get that hamstring stretch. It can involve our breath too here. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Nice relaxing stretch, combining structure on the way down and flow on the way up. Now we'll hold it at the bottom. Holding to the center, breathing deeply. Can stay up a little higher if this causes any issues. And again, you can skip any exercise that aggravates the problems. And come down the left leg. Stretch just down the left. Hold and breathe. And down the right. And back to the center. Rolling it up. Next one, we're going to get on the floor. So come to a tabletop position. We're going to do some planks. This is to stabilize our core, strengthen the front of the core. You're going to come down onto your elbows. Elbows are under the shoulders. Fists are under the face. You can keep your knees on the floor if you're not strong enough for this yet, or bring your feet back and lift the knees. If your knees are on the floor, make sure they're behind your hips. If they're under the hips, you're not going to be working your core very hard. Hold and breathe. Try to keep everything flat from your head back to your feet, so our butt's not way up in the air. It's not sinking down towards the floor. Our butt and our spine and our head are all in one line, parallel to the floor. Sometimes helps to use a mirror or videotape yourself to check this. And it's okay if you can't make it the whole time. We're going about, I think this was about 45 seconds. And if you can't make it to the full 45 yet, that's okay, but just try to go as long as your body allows. Let's release. If you haven't already, we're going to come onto our back, feet on the floor, knees to the sky, palms on the floor next to you. We're going to find some bridge poses, lifting the hips towards the sky and then slowly lowering down. And each time you lift to the sky, just pause for a moment and squeeze your glutes. Squeezing the butt muscles, biggest muscle in the body. We want to get this activated very commonly in issues of low back pain. The glutes and abdomen muscles are underactive. And so here, we're not necessarily trying to strengthen them so much as teach them to turn on. So squeeze the glutes at the top. Make sure we're using the glutes, not the hamstrings. Over-reliance on the hamstrings and underactivation of the glutes. Common cause of lower back pain. So let's learn to use the biggest muscle in our body. Rely on it to support our body mass. And take a little pressure off the lower back. Good. Hug your knees into the chest. You can rock around a little left and right, or front to back. Give your low back a little massage on the ground. Enjoy a little breather. We're just going to do one more round of these two exercises. So one more round of the plank and one more of the bridge. And I know these aren't Qigong proper. Let's come back to our hands and knees. Walk your knees back behind your hips, so they're not right under the hips. Bring your elbows down under the shoulders. You can keep your knees down if you need to, or Lift them up. Keep a straight back. Don't let your butt go way up into the sky or sink down to the earth. Keep the butt and head on the same level. And feel your abdomen working here and see if you can even encourage it to work more. You might find you're over-relying on the hip flexors. Another cause of lower back pain. Over-reliance on the hip flexors, under-activation of the abdomen. So you want to use that six-pack God gave you to stabilize your core. So feel that working. Feel the front of the abdomen working. Put your mind there. Form that mind-body connection. Does that make it more Qigong-y if I tell you to make a mind-body connection? Hopefully that got you through it. Alright, let's come back to the low back, or onto the back. Feet on the floor again, knees pointed to the sky. Lifting the hips, squeezing the glutes at the top, slowly lowering down. You can combine your breath here too. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Remember, the glute squeeze is the most important part. Don't just go through the motion, but squeeze the glutes so that it's not the hamstrings lifting us up, but the glutes. Almost there. Good. And roll it out. Hug the knees in. Decompress the low back. Good work. That's probably the hardest part of the class over. Good job. We'll find our way back up to standing, however you feel comfortable. Once you're there, find your feet hip to shoulder width. Hold a chi ball with the left hand underneath, the height of the pelvis, the right hand on top, the height of the solar plexus. Sink your tailbone to the earth. Shift your weight to the right foot, step to the left, throw a frisbee with the left hand, and press the right hand to the sky. And then twist to your left, twisting over that front leg. This is called the dragon stretch. Use that right hand pressing up to lengthen the waist, that left hand pulling back to twist the waist. Just like wringing out a towel, we twist and pull at the same time. Back to the center. Step the left foot in, hip to shoulder width, and spiral the hands now with the right hand on the bottom, left hand on top. This one might take a few tries to get smooth, so we'll keep breaking it down slow on this first round. We're going to go the other way next time. Shifting left, stepping right. Turn on your right heel, slide your left heel back a little, press the left hand up, sweep the right arm out and back, twisting to your right. And we're also looking for a stretch on the right hip flexor here. I'm sorry, the left hip flexor, front of the left hip. So tuck your tailbone a little if you need more. And we're going to return to the center, step back in, gather our chi ball with the left hand underneath. Always remember the bottom hand is the side we're going to step to next. Stepping left now, turn on the heels, float the hands up and out, twist to your left, press up with the right hand like you're pressing against the ceiling. Tuck the tailbone a little to look for that stretch on the right hip flexor. And then return to the center. Left foot steps in, gathering the chi ball. Take a deep breath into the lower abdomen here. Hands directing the awareness, breath, and chi to the core. Stepping out right, twist to your right, press up with the left hand, lengthen the waist, and twist the waist. Stretch the hip flexor on the left leg. Just breathing however's comfortable here. Step the right foot back in. Gather the chi ball, left hand on the bottom. We're just going to do one more round. One on each side. Great exercise to pulse between tension and relaxation. Stepping to the left, twisting to the left, pressing up with the right. Stretch the right hip flexor. Twist the waist. Lengthen the spine. Return to the center. Left foot in. Gather to the core. Use the hands to bring your breath and attention to your core. And stepping right. Twisting right. Deep breath. Breathe into the front of the left hip. And circle back. Right foot steps in. Gather your chi ball. Deep breath. Release the hands. And we're going to float up, finding a hand position called Tai Chi Palm. Hold one thumb with a fist and wrap your fingers behind that fist. Drop it down like a stone, sinking to the bottom of the lake, to your lower abdomen. You have one thumb inside the other fist, and that thumb hand has the fingers wrapped behind the fist. If you look at your palms, it looks a little bit like a Tai Chi swirl or a letter S in between the thumb joints. Hold here and breathe into the lower abdomen. This anchor point associated with longevity and vitality. And we're going to release and start to circle the hips again, this time in a more relaxed way in the upper body. Let your shoulders and neck move with it now. Let your arms hang as you circle the hips, just opening around the whole lower, upper back, waist, hips. Circle the other direction. Back to the center. This next one is a stretch for the hamstrings. Quite a deep stretch, so be careful the first time. You're going to slide your hands down the back of the legs until you're holding behind the calves or behind the ankles, or even higher if you need to. And just relax for a few breaths as we stretch the hamstrings. If it feels okay, you can even round the back and let the head and neck hang a bit. Bring the hands to the inside of the feet, draw up the inside of the legs, and fold the hands at the lower abdomen. Taking a few deep nasal breaths. So at the inhale, you feel the belly, waist, and lower back inflate. As though a balloon were in the abdomen, and as you exhale, like that balloon deflates from the back, sides, and front as well. As we build a pressure here like a balloon, this can help support the lumbar spine. Bring the hands back to the low back, slide down the back of the legs, holding behind the legs, ideally behind the ankle, but if you need to be up at the calf or even higher, that's okay. Breathe deeply here. Slide to the inside of the foot, up the inside of the legs, and again, pause at the lower abdomen. Take a few deep breaths here, feeling the balloon inflate in the abdominal area, pressurizing the low back, waist, and belly. You might even feel like each inhale creates some length between the lumbar vertebra. Next, we'll release the hands and begin to shake. Just trying to shake tension generally out of the body. Think of most of the effort coming from the feet and lower legs, and the rest of the body becoming as relaxed as possible in this. Especially the base of the skull relaxing so the head nods, and the shoulders relaxing so they bounce up and down. As well as, of course, the lower back. And if it feels okay, you can add a twist to this, gently twisting. Not trying to push into any extreme range of motion, just a very gentle twist. Let's explore how this might release tension in other various areas of the body. And then you might experiment with the sway left and right. Still continuing to shake as you sway. And as you're shaking the whole time, try using the purging breath. We breathe in through the nose and gently sigh out the mouth as we shake. You can experiment with a little front and back lean. Being very careful that we don't hurt the spine or the back. We want to gradually build our resilience over time, not rushing and hindering ourselves further. And we'll relax at the center. Notice how your body feels. Here we're going to find a standing meditation, lining up the body for maximum chi circulation. Find your feet parallel, hip to shoulder width, tailbone sinking and heavy, knees soft, crown of the head floating to the sky, chin tucked slightly back, fingers gently spread a tiny bit, elbows just floating off the ribs. And in this open posture, just start to notice your breathing. You can have your eyes open or closed. Just watch your breath. Breathing naturally through the nose, continuing to particularly notice the sinking of the tailbone, the floating of the crown, spine getting long, muscles melting off the bones gradually as you get better at this posture. Feel like space is growing between each vertebra. Move from here into some mindful flows. This one is called the baby bird learns to fly. Back of the hands come towards each other as they float up, and the palms open as they expand forward and down. We inhale to draw up, exhale to float down, painting an elliptical shape with the hands. Just feeling some very gentle movement with the hips and spine, undulating slightly with the motion, pumping and circulating the chi through the hips and spine, legs and pelvis, hands and arms. With our stretches and joint openings we did earlier, encourage the body to relax. And in our standing meditations and mindful flows, we learn to move with that relaxation, learn to go through life with a relaxed, calm attitude, and the body free of unnecessary tension and restriction, so that our energy moves fluidly and powerfully through the body. Next, we're going to brush down the back of the legs with bent knees this time, no stretch. Brush up the inside of the legs. And as you get up to the belly, let the hands float off the body up to the sky, opening up gently. And then drawing back down. And just scan through your body from head to chest, to belly, to legs, to feet, to earth. Pause for a moment, lined up just like before. And bring your hands to your low back and again brush down the back of the legs. We're working with the bladder and kidney channels that go along the back and inside of the legs, up the belly, opening the arms to the sky, and drawing down for a body scan, scanning the body head to toe, and even sending that awareness beyond the feet into the earth like roots. I'll try this next one with the breath linked up. Inhaling to the low back. Exhale, fold with bent knees, brushing down. Inhale, brushing up. Opening those acupuncture channels. Exhale, floating up to the sky. Touching the spaciousness of the sky. Inhale, bring that spaciousness through the head and chest. Exhale it down through the pelvis, legs, and earth. Pause for a natural breath. And inhale, lower back. Exhale down the bladder channel. Inhale up the kidney channel. These channels often worked with for low back pain. Exhale, floating to the sky like a cloud is rising to the sky. And inhaling, you draw the rain down from the cloud, that rain washing through the upper body. Exhale down through the lower body like that water relaxes every muscle and calms every nerve. Our next moving meditation, the right hand is face up underneath the lower abdomen, under the dantian. The left hand is circling up on the right side, and down on the left side. Our hips are turning with the hand, so it's not just the arm moving. The arm is effectively just going up and down. As the hips turn left and right, it turns that up and down motion into a circle. Inhale over the top. And exhale through the bottom. Finding a very slow breath linked with slow movement. You can even go slower than me if it's possible for you. You actually want to go uncomfortably slow, challenging your mind and nervous system. Slow movement of breath anchors the mind in the present moment, which the mind often resists. Let's switch hands here. Right hand now, going up the left, inhaling over, down the right, exhaling through the lower arc, going uncomfortably slow, slower than our body even wants to go, slower than the mind wants to go. Retraining the mind to be comfortable with presence. Comfortable with no distraction, no entertainment. Just reality as it is. Hand under the lower abdomen, one hand beneath the other. Touch the tips of the thumbs together. This is called the monk holding the pearls. Sink the tailbone, float the crown, and sink the awareness into the lower dantian, this region between the navel and the pelvis, in towards the center of the body. Release the hands and pull down the sky 3 times, inhaling up. Exhale, passing awareness through the body like a net through a river, drawing out any remaining stagnation, releasing it to the earth. Inhale through the nose, Mind becomes like the sky. Spacious awareness scans through the body, sifting off any stagnant chi, releasing to the earth like compost. We'll step the feet in for our final standing meditation called Bamboo in the Wind. Here you can imagine you're like a pine tree on a riverbank. Flowing with the breeze, you relax your whole body to the point that it rocks and sways. Allow the chi to flow through you. Like the networks of energy within you are rivers that have been undammed, tension released from the body, allowing that smooth circulation of energy. Relax and soften. Get out of your own way. Get out of the way of this flow. Your internal life energy. We'll close by stepping back out, circling the belly, shifting the weight to follow the hands. Try to circle clockwise here, so I'm actually not mirroring you here. I'm going to go clockwise to follow the flow of digestion. Breathe slow and deep through the nose. Pay attention to the feeling of warmth from the hands, the friction, warming the chi of the belly, the digestion, and then start to center that in just below the navel at the dantian, the field of the elixir of long life. Take a deep breath in and release the hands with a sigh, letting the energy spread through your body from head to toe. Hope you enjoyed that routine. I hope your back is feeling a little relief. Keep coming back to strengthen those glutes and core, loosen the hamstrings and hip flexors, and keep your energy flowing. If you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already. I come out with lots of videos like this. And check out my website in the description below for more information about my online Qigong teacher training program, as well as my other programs that you can buy now, such as my 5-animal Qigong course, or my free brain and liver and gut healing course that you can get on the homepage of my website.